Deep within the vast, untamed wilderness of Canada's Banff National Park, a place famed for its pristine beauty and formidable grizzly bears, rangers were facing a mystery, a shadow that emerged from the forest edge not with fury, but with unnerving persistence. Every dawn, like clockwork, an adult female grizzly appeared near the main ranger station. She didn't charge, she didn't raid the bins. She simply paced, back and forth, a silent sentinel against the backdrop of the awakening mountains. Day after day, the same ritual. Whispers turned to worried murmurs among the rangers. This wasn't hunger-driven boldness or curiosity. It felt deliberate, unsettling. Chief Ranger David Miller, a man weathered by years navigating the park's dangers, felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He was responsible for the safety of his team and visitors, and this bear's unpredictable presence was a growing threat to the fragile order he maintained. Was she scouting for an opportunity? Was she becoming dangerously habituated? Miller knew instinct wasn't enough. He needed expertise. The call went out to Dr. Evelyn Reed, a wildlife researcher whose name was synonymous with understanding the region's elusive creatures. Intrigued by the baffling reports, such behavior was unheard of, Dr. Reed agreed immediately. Arriving at Banff, she could feel the tension hanging heavy in the crisp mountain air. The rangers were on edge, their hands never far from deterrence. Miller briefed her, guiding her through observation posts. "A week straight," he explained, his voice low. "She comes at first light, paces for about an hour, maybe lets out a low rumble, then vanishes back into the forest." Dr. Reed watched, fascinated. The bear showed no signs of aggression, no interest in human food sources, just that persistent, almost mournful presence. After 2 intense days of observation, meticulously documenting every movement, every low growl that vibrated in the quiet air, Dr. Reed called an urgent meeting. "David," she began, leaning forward, her eyes alight with a startling idea. "Look at what she isn't doing. No aggression, no attempt to breach the fences. She stands there, makes her presence known, then leaves. It's almost communicative." She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. What if she's not scouting? What if she's asking for help? The theory sounded outlandish, flying in the face of everything they knew about grizzly interactions. Asking humans for help? Yet, Dr. Reed's conviction, backed by her careful observations, was compelling. Miller wrestled with the risk, but his trust in her expertise won out. "All right," he decided. "We form a team. We follow her, cautiously." The news spread like wildfire. Despite the inherent danger, volunteers stepped forward, driven by a mix of apprehension and the burning need to solve this mystery. The next morning, nerves taut, the team waited hidden at the forest edge. As the sun painted the peaks pink, the massive brown figure emerged. The familiar pacing began, the low rumble echoing softly. An hour passed. Then she turned, melting back into the dense woods. "Move out," came the quiet order. They followed, splitting into small, silent groups, maintaining a respectful distance as Dr. Reed had instructed. "Observe, don't provoke." The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and pine. Twigs snapped underfoot despite their caution. Sunlight filtered weakly through the emerald canopy. The bear led them deeper, over fallen giants slick with moss, across soggy ground that muffled their steps. Surprisingly, she didn't try to lose them. Occasionally she'd pause, her great head turning, dark eyes seeming to check if they were still behind her, not fleeing, leading. Hours passed. The rhythmic crashing grew louder, resolving into the roar of Swift Creek, swollen and angry from recent heavy rains. The bear's tracks vanished near a chaotic jam of logs and rocks hurled against the bank by the floodwaters. Had she crossed? Impossible in this current. Then, a flicker of movement upstream. There she was, perched precariously on a boulder, agitated, her gaze fixed not on them, but on a specific spot near the water's edge. Scrambling around the blockage, the roar of the water deafening, they saw her turn towards a jumbled mess of rocks and freshly fallen logs near a hollow in the bank. The ground here looked freshly disturbed, torn away by the flood. Then they heard it, faint, desperate, almost lost in the river's noise. A thin, whimpering cry. It came from beneath the debris. Understanding dawned. Adrenaline surged. Using pry bars and gloved hands, the rangers attacked the blockage, careful yet frantic. The mother bear watched, pacing nearby, a low growl rumbling in her chest. Not menace, but sheer, unbearable anxiety. Finally, an opening. Dr. Reed shone her light into the darkness. Two tiny cubs, mud-caked and trembling, blinked back, trapped by the collapse likely caused by the eroding floodwaters. This wasn't just a bear. She was a mother, desperate to save her young, who had turned to the only other creatures powerful enough to help: humans.